Hello, dears, and welcome back. In today's podcast, we'll be talking about the IELTS test. And I like to call this one the test. So, let me give you a little bit of a background about the IELTS test. So, you've decided to take the IELTS test, and I want to tell you that you're not alone. Over 2 million people all over the world take the test each year. And obviously, a knowledge of English is increasingly important for people who want to enter higher education or work in countries where English is the first language. And obviously, IELTS is widely recognized by universities and colleges, professional bodies, employers, immigration authorities, and other government agencies. And also because it's very lucrative, I think it's the most expensive Cambridge exam. So yeah, if you're curious enough, you can find a list of over 9,000 organizations which recognize the test on the IELTS official IELTS website, www.ielts.org. There are two versions of IELTS: the academic and general training, or GT. And when you enroll, you can choose which version you want to take. You should take the IELTS academic if you want to study in higher education, for example, on an undergraduate or postgraduate course at the university where the teaching is in English. And you should take the general training version if you intend to live and work in an English speaking country and need to show the migration authorities that you have the required level of English. If you're working with a teacher or if you're taking an IELTS preparation course, then you can get plenty of advice on the version which is appropriate for you. Or you can contact the organization you intend to apply to and find out which one they require. Now, let's talk about the test. There are four parts to the test: listening, reading, writing, and speaking, and you must take them all. The total test time is 2 hours and 45 minutes. The tests of listening and speaking are the same for all candidates, regardless they're taking the academic or the general. But the tests of reading and writing are different depending on whether you choose the academic or general training versions. You do the listening, reading, and writing tests on the same day, and usually the speaking test is done a few days before or after the other components. The test is available very frequently. I know that in Romania, where I live in Bucharest, I think it can be even twice or even three times a month. Again, you can find your local center. I'm not going to advertise the center that I work with, but I'm going to say that is a very, very good one. But you can choose whichever you want. And you can, I don't know, if you need plenty of information on how to register for the tests, again, you can visit the official IELTS website. Let's talk a little bit about the scoring. Um, IELTS are very secretive about their scoring, and what you're going to find online is the public version. But you will know that IELTS assesses your language, knowledge, and skills and gives you a band from 1 to 9. 0 if you didn't attempt the test. So from 1 to 9 in each of the four parts of the test. And then you're going to have an overall band score from 1 to 9 for the whole exam, which is an average of the scores for each part. There is no pass or fail in IELTS because the college, university, organization you're applying to will tell you the exact band scores you need to achieve. Okay, so let's see exactly what these band scores say. Band 9 means expert user, which means that you have fully operational command of the language, appropriate, accurate, and fluent with complete understanding. So you're like, I don't know, uh, you're quite the intergalactic sheriff, so to say. Band 8, a very good user who has fully operational command of the English language with only occasional unsystematic inaccuracies and inappropriacies. Misunderstandings may occur in unfamiliar situations, but this user handles complex, detailed argumentation well. Band 7, yeah, this is what you're aiming for. Good user. Has operational command of the language, though with occasional inaccuracies, inappropriacies, and misunderstandings in some situations, and generally handles complex language well and understands detailed reasoning. It's not that complicated. However, you should think about the fact that Band 7 is the advanced level if you have taken the CAE exam. Band 6, competent user, has generally effective command of the language, despite some inaccuracies, inappropriacies, and misunderstandings, can use and understand fairly complex language, particularly in familiar situations. Okay, so band 6 is familiar situations, band 7 is unfamiliar situations. Okay, band 5, you're a modest user, has partial command of the language, coping with overall meaning in most situations, though is likely to make many mistakes, should be able to handle basic communications in own field. Band 7, limited user, basic competence, is limited to familiar situation, has frequent problems in understanding and expression, and is not able to use complex language. Band 3, extremely limited user, conveys and understands only general meaning in very familiar situations. Frequent breakdowns in communication occur, so you have to stop quite a lot. Band 2, intermittent user, no real communication is possible except for the most basic information using isolated words, short phrases, and familiar situations, and to meet immediate needs. For example, I want a coffee, how can I get there? This is intermittent user and has great difficulty understanding spoken and written English. Band 1 is a non user, essentially has no ability to use the language beyond possibly a few isolated words. And band 0, which is needless to say, did not attempt the test, so there's no accessible information provided. So, this will be quite it about the test itself. Um, in the next podcast, we'll be talking about each module and we'll see exactly what you should be doing, the length, the sections, tips, and strategies. Thank you very much for listening, and I do hope to see you next time. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring. Take care. Bye bye.